Do you have leaky fork seals? If you do, we're gonna show you how to change them out on this Himalayan 411. Now, it's gonna be a similar process for any bike with right side up forks. So if you're doing it on a different model, just refer to your model specific service manual. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. To get this done, we have some common hand tools. Now, the main thing I wanna point out here is you need some special tools. So you're going to need a seal driver. You need one that's 41 millimeters in diameter. We're going with the tusk adjustable option, but we also have size specific options on the website as well. This one's from DRC. Again, 41 millimeters. We're also using a seal bullet. If you don't have one of those, you can use some painter's tape. And then we have a couple chemicals that you're gonna wanna have as well. So some contact cleaner, some blue thread locker, and we've got some seal grease. And then there's one more special tool that it's not a must have, but it's nice to have. So this is a damping rod holding tool from Race Tech, but we're gonna show you another method if you don't wanna buy the special tool. But again, so much easier with this. All right, to get this done, you're gonna need some new fork seals. So we went with the Tusk Dust and Fork Seal Kit. We're also using some 20 weight fork oil, but the manual is gonna call for 10 weight. So this is personal preference. If you wanna run 15 or 20, that's gonna give you a stiffer feel. And then when you're in here, you're gonna wanna take a look at your bushings. If you have a lot of miles on your bike, I recommend replacing the inner and outer bushings. We're also replacing these fork boots as well. We've got some that are torn. And we're not gonna be upgrading our springs today, but if you want to adjust your bike for your weight or the type of riding you're doing, you can put different springs in there. Now, if you need any of these parts or any special tools, you can find that stuff on our website by clicking the link in the description below. To remove the forks, we have our bike on the center stand. I have a pancake jack for extra support. You don't have to have one of these. Next, we need to disconnect our two sensors. I'm gonna loosen up the brake caliper. It's always a good idea to hang that with a piece of safety wire or bungee cord. Remove the axle nut, the sensor bracket, loosen up the pinch bolt and pull the axle. Then remove the wheel. We've got our fender, then we're gonna loosen up the upper pinch bolts. Loosen the cap on each side. Then we can loosen the lower pinch bolts and remove our forks. Now at the bench, we're just gonna do one fork leg at a time. I'm gonna remove this boot first, and then I'm gonna use contact cleaner on a rag. If you're leaking oil, these are gonna be pretty grimy, so make sure you wipe them down. And then I'm gonna take a look at the fork tube and inspect it for any nicks or damage that could have caused that fork seal to fail. If you do see any little nicks, you can clean them up with a little bit of emery cloth or 600 grit sandpaper or even a fine file. If it's bad damage, you'll have to replace the fork tube. Then I'm gonna clean up the rest of the fork and that bottom bolt, and I'll get it as clean as possible so we don't contaminate any of the internal parts. Next, you can use a flat blade screwdriver. We have this clip pick tool. We're gonna remove the dust seal. You can go ahead and pull it off all the way. Pay attention to the orientation. Then down inside of here, you're gonna see a clip. We need to remove that. Just be careful, you don't want to damage your tube. And then from here, I'm going to take the fork assembly over to my soft jaws in my vise, and I'm going to clamp right where that triple clamp was. I'm going to remove this fork cap, and it will be under some spring tension, so you might want to keep a little bit of pressure on it. So I'm going to remove the cap, and then I have this rubber mat, so it has a nice edge on it. It's gonna keep oil from running all over my bench. I'm gonna have one side be the dirty side and one side for the clean parts once we clean them up. So I'll remove that spacer, and then we have a spring. And with this, as soon as I get that spring out, I'm gonna dump all the oil into my drain pan. So to get the spring out, I'm gonna hold this over the pan. And a lot of times those springs, they'll have a washer with them, just like that. So pay attention to that. We'll let this oil drain out. Then you'll also notice those tight coils, those are towards the bottom of the fork. And I'll pump the fork tube up and down a couple times to get all that oil to drain out. If you have time, you can let this hang upside down for a few minutes to get all the oil out. Next, I'm gonna clamp that axle holder into the vise, and from here, we need to remove our center bolt. Now that's gonna be threaded into a damping rod, and it can just spin inside of there. So we need a special tool to hold it still, or if you don't have the special tool, one thing you can do is with all that oil out, you can reinstall the spring, your spacers, and your fork cap, and then press down and put some pressure on that damping rod, and then you can loosen that center bolt. But it might be a little more difficult to do it that way. So I'm just gonna slide the special tool in. It's got this taper, and it's gonna wedge up against our damping rod. Then I've got a socket, 19mm socket, and that's how we're gonna hold it from moving. All right, with the special tool in place, I'm gonna give it a little tap with a hammer. And now that that's ready, you wanna heat up this center bolt. And this applies to doing the job without the special tool as well. If you don't heat it up and get it nice and hot, you're gonna have issues getting it all the way out. So with that hot, we can go ahead and break that center bolt free. I've got my drain pan underneath. We'll back this all the way out, and just be careful not to touch the bolt. It's gonna be hot. We'll let that oil drain out. Then we're gonna go ahead and remove our special tool. It's still stuck in our damping rod. That's okay. To make things a little bit easier, I recommend heating this area up around the fork tube by that seal. We're using a heat gun because it's probably a little bit easier on this paint. And with that warmed up, we're gonna use these tubes like a slide hammer. It's gonna take a couple hits, but we're gonna slide these tubes apart, and it's gonna remove that seal at the same time. Then I can remove this lower tube from the vise. Gonna let the rest of that syrup drizzle out into my drain pan. And then I'm gonna tip this up. It's got an anti-bottoming cone at the bottom. And then on this slider, if you look at this bushing, it has a gray Teflon coating. So this section of it doesn't look bad, but you wanna look all the way around. So on this other side, you can see all that Teflon coating is worn through. So we know that the bushings need to be replaced. If you see one that's worn out, odds are all of them are gonna be worn out. So I'll just recommend getting a kit. And to remove these, all you have to do, you can separate the ends with your thumbs, or you could get a flat blade screwdriver and pry in between the two to help pop this off. We've got that lower bushing, the upper one. We've got a backup ring right here. And heating up the tubes is gonna help prevent damage to any of these parts. And then we're also going to remove that oil seal. Pay attention to the orientation. So the side with this garter spring sticking out, that's gonna be facing up. There's also a garter spring on the inside, but it has an open back, and that's gonna be facing down or towards the oil when you put everything back together. So to give you guys a better view, I wiped this bushing off. So anywhere you see that copper material, that's where that Teflon coating is worn through. And that gray area, that's what you wanna see all the way around. So it's the same thing on this upper bushing. You're gonna be looking on that inside diameter, and we've got one section where it's all copper showing. So again, we are replacing these. Now to remove the special tool from the damping rod, we're gonna clamp that in the vise and then rock the tool out. The next step is to clean up all of your parts. So just using some contact cleaner and a drain pan. And it's important to make sure these threads down at the bottom of the damping rod are clean. We're gonna use a little bit of thread locker as we go back together. And I almost forgot to mention, don't forget to remove your top out spring from the inside of this inner fork tube. And as you clean your parts, just check for any obvious signs of damage. All right, at this point, we're ready to go back together. I'm gonna use my seal bullet to cover up these sharp edges on the fork tube, but if you don't have one of these, you can use some painter's tape or even a bag you can put over this. Just cut off the end of a Ziploc bag or whatever and use the smooth side of that. The whole point is we don't want to cut these fork seals as we go back together. We're also going to grease these up. I have some seal grease I'm using. I'm going to put just a little bit of oil on this fork tube as well, just because I like making messes. Now it's going to help everything slide together. So we've got our dust seal first, then we have the oil seal. And the dust seal, obviously the open side is going to be facing down. Oil seal, the side with the double lip or the open back is going to be facing down. And then we do have that retaining clip that would go in between these, but we're going to be able to put that on in a later step. So once you have that slid into place, you can remove your bag or your bullet, whatever you are using. We've got our backup ring. I'm gonna make sure I have a little bit of oil on this, just so it doesn't rust. And then we have our new bushings. Oil those up as well. So we've got that upper bushing, then the lower bushing. And that lower one's just gonna snap into place just like that. Next, we're gonna prep our damping rod. So we're using a special tool. So I'm just gonna wedge that in there. But again, you can do this job without the tool. You're just gonna have to have some help with your spring and those spacers and reinstall the cap at that same time. But on this, we're just going to lube up that piston ring. Got some oil on there. And this part is really important. Make sure you get your top out spring back on here. And then we're gonna slide this all the way down our fork tube. So that right there, that's all the way down. At the end of this damping rod, I'm just going to apply a little bit of grease, and that's gonna hold this bottoming cone on there as we set everything together. And from here, I'm gonna put this lower tube back in the vise, and then I'm just going to these caliper mounts this time. Having it more level is gonna make the job a little bit easier getting everything back into position. And then from here, we need to slide this complete assembly in that outer tube. Now, if you're having issues with this damping rod wanting to slide up, that's where you're gonna wanna slide your spring in, and you can use these spacers if you don't have that special tool. If you're using the special tool, you can use a socket and extension to help hold it in place. But the main thing is we wanna line up that bottoming cone with the bottom of that outer fork tube. Now, if you look down in at the bottom of the fork tube, this is kind of hard to see, but you should see that the spacer and the threads are centered up with that outer fork tube, and then you want that stuff all the way bottomed out inside of the fork tube. And then we're going to install the new crush washer onto our center bolt. I'm using a little bit of blue thread locker. We'll thread that in. You want to put a little bit of pressure on your special tool or your spring. You want to make sure that damping rod doesn't move. Then torque the bolt to 10 Newton meters. That's the spec that is listed in the manual. Typically a bolt like this is going to be torqued to about 14 foot-pounds. That's what I'm going to do personally, but use some discretion. If for any reason you have a different size of bolt, maybe an M6, something like that, you wouldn't want to crank it down. But with this being an M8, I feel good about going to 14 foot-pounds. After that, we can remove our special tool. And then the next step is to drive these fork seals into place. So to get that done, even though we have soft gels, I'm still using a rag. I want to protect this paint, and I'm going to set this in the vise. Just be aware of your reflector and any other tabs that you don't want damaged. So I'm going to get this close and then let this slide down to where it doesn't move anymore. And I'll just snug it up a little bit. And that's going to keep it from moving when we drive the new seals in. Next, I pulled the oil seal and the dust seal up. I've got my universal fork seal driver. I want to tap in that bushing that sits up top. And then to drive that seal into place, I'm going to use the heat gun again. It's just going to make everything a little bit easier. Now with the universal drivers, it's going to be a lot easier if you use just a little bit of safety wire to pull the ends together. And that way you don't have to try to hold it together while you use the driver. And we'll tap that down. We'll make sure it's driven in evenly all the way around. You want to make sure that the groove for the retaining clip is fully exposed. We can then install that and our dust seal. And it's always a good idea to make sure the clip sits all the way down in its groove. Then we can remove our tool and install the dust seal. And we're going to measure out 455 milliliters of oil. We'll pour that in. I'm going to pump the fork tube up and down a few times. Then I'm going to reinstall my spring, my washer. I've got a spacer. There's another flat washer on top, and then we have our cap. I've got some little bit of oil on that O-ring. I'll get that threaded on as far as I can, and we'll do the final tightening. Now I'm going to slide my fork boot back on, and we'll do those same steps to the other fork. Next, we're going to slide the forks back into the triple clamps. I'm going to line up the fork cap with the top triple clamp, just at that seam. And then we're going to torque the pinch bolts to 21 to 29 Newton meters. Next, we're going to reinstall our fender. We'll set our wheel in place. I'm going to temporarily tighten that axle. Then we're going to reinstall our brake caliper. And then we've got our two sensors. Make sure the retaining brackets are in place, and make sure you reinstall the bolt and screw. Next, we're going to torque our axle to 63 to 77 Newton meters. And then the pinch bolt is going to be torqued to 21 to 29 Newton meters. All right, so that's it for rebuilding the forks on your Himalayan 411. If you have any questions, leave those down in the comments. And if you need to pick up any parts for your bike, head over to our website. Just click the link in the description below. Orders over $75 ship free. And if you want to see more helpful content like this, subscribe to our channel. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.